The Constitution of India, Preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution.
Hello students, welcome back. Hope all are doing well. In the previous classes, we have discussed First World War and its after effects. A few of your friends are here to provide us all a recap on the previous topics. Let's listen to them.
Hello everyone, I am Hannah. I am here to say the recap for the second history chapter. In this chapter, first teacher taught us why do African countries share straight borderlines. This is because of the Europeans who reached Africa in search of natural resources, partitioned the continent in the beginning of 20th century. On the basis of some agreements among the European countries, they divided the African nations among themselves by just drawing a straight line. The next topic teacher taught us is from capitalism to imperialism. What is capitalism? The economic system in which production and distribution are controlled by capitalists with the aim to profit is known as capitalism. The advent of large-scale industries enhanced the capital investment. Many nations produced more than they needed and more than they could accommodate in their domestic market. This overproduction forced them to search for markets. The search for markets by the industrialized countries in Europe led to competition among them. Europeans had already established trade relationship with Asian, African and Latin American nations. Using political power and military forces, the European countries exploited these nations. Later, they became the colonies of European countries. This process is known as colonization. Trade unions were formed to protest against the capitalist exploitation. Constant agitations of trade unions and the resultant increase in their wages diminished the profit of capitalists. European countries had considered colonies as a source of raw materials and a market for their industrial products. Later on, the colonial masters started to invest capital in their colonies. There are mainly three factors that induced them to do so. The first one is cheap labor, second one is availability of raw materials, and the third one is low cost involved in manufacturing and selling of goods in colonies. The next thing teacher taught us is imperialism. The distinct phase of flow of finance capital to colonies is known as imperialism. Imposing a nation's political, economic and cultural dominance on another nation is the fundamental feature of imperialism. The colonialists imposed their dominance using legal system, administrative measures, military force, etc. The next thing teacher taught is how did imperialism affected the colonies. Traditional economic system of the colonies were destroyed. Administrative and judicial system were replaced. The people of the colonies were forced to cultivate cash crops in lieu of traditional food crops. Poverty and unemployment increased. Natural resources were widely exploited. Indigenous arts, literature, language, cultural and educational system were destroyed. This is how the imperialism affected the colonies. Thank you.
First World War. The European nations vied with each other in establishing colonies. This competition led conflicts among them and caused mutual distrust and enmity. This further drove the nation to the signing of military alliances. The Triple Alliance and Triple Entente were examples of such military alliances. The formation of such alliances created a war atmosphere in Europe. They started buying and manufacturing lethal weapons. The European nations were resorted to various strategies to succeed their imperialistic competition. Aggressive nationalism was one among them. The European nations used aggressive nationalism to invade other countries. The aggressive nationalists consider their own nation as supreme and justified, whatever be the actions of their nations. Various movements in Europe, such as Pan-Slave, Pan-German, and Revenge movement, were considered as the offshoot of the aggressive nationalism. The imperialists drove the European countries into several crises. Among them, the Moroccan crisis and Balkan crisis are considered to be the important. Moroccan crisis. A secret treaty was signed between France and Britain in 1904. According to this, the Britain recognized the claim of France over Morocco. The French claim over Morocco was opposed by Germany, which sent battleship to the Moroccan port Agadir. The France accepted to transfer a part of French Congo to Germany, and Germany accepted to concede Morocco to France and Britain. Thus, the problem was solved temporarily. However, their rivalry continued. Crisis. The Balkan region is situated in Europe, close to the Aegean Sea and Black Sea. It was a part of Ottoman Empire. In 1912, the Balkan League defeated Turkey. However, the conflict among the allied nations in sharing up the benefits of the war resulted in the breakup of the war and in wars among them. When Austria led its claim over the Balkan region with the support of Germany, the Serbia claimed this region with the support of Russia. During this time, a Serbian youth, Gavrilo Princip, assassinated Francis Ferdinand, the heir to the thrones of Austria, at Bosnian capital Sarajevo in July 1914. Austria held Serbia responsible for it and declared a war on Serbia on 28 July 1914. The Allied nations rushed to help their allies. Almost all the nations in the world were directly or indirectly involved in it. Therefore, this war is known as the First World War.
I am Adira. I am here with a recap of the second chapter, World in the 20th Century. The First World War ended in 1918 and this produced a far-reaching impact across the world. Over 10 million people lost their lives or were injured in this war. Poverty, unemployment and inflation increased. Agriculture, industry and communication systems destroyed. Liberation movements in Asia and Africa strengthened. Economic dominance of Europe diminished. In a bid to bring about peace in the world, the League of Nations was formed. Now let's discuss how the Versailles Treaty became an example of the vengeance against the defeated nations. A peace conference was convened at Paris in 1919 to discuss the post-war situation under the leadership of the winning allies Britain and France. They signed different treaties with the defeated nations. Among these treaties, the Versailles Treaty signed with Germany is an important one. According to this treaty, German colonies was divided among the victorious powers and Germany was forced to pay a huge amount as war indemnity. The Allies occupied the rich mines of Germany and all the war guilt were imposed on Germany and was disarmed. Now let's discuss the impacts of economic depression. People who become pauper because of the war could not afford the commodities. Goods were kept unsold in the factories and the European nations failed to repay the debts to the USA. Banks collapsed. Acute unemployment and poverty. Inflation becomes uncontrollable. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm here to give you a recap of what we have learned in the previous class on the topics fascism and Nazism and Mussolini and fascism. What happened after the First World War? First World War devastated both the Allies. Many European governments lost their power. People were missing. Unemployment, poverty, inflation narrowed their entire system. During these circumstances of political and economical instabilities, fascism and Nazism rose to power in Italy and Germany. Let's see what are the factors which facilitated these forces to attain power. Economic destruction, rivalry against the victors, aimlessness, etc. What are the characteristic features of fascism? Antagonism to democracy, justifying war, glorifying the nation, terrifying the past, military dictatorship, opposition to socialism, adoring the purity of race, indoctrination of ideologies, through art, literature, and education. Diffusion of aggressive nationalism. Destruction of political rights. Mussolini and fascism. War is to man. War. Majority is to woman. Benito Mussolini. These are the lines of Benito Mussolini, the leader of the fascist party in Italy. Let's see what are the circumstances which shaped this party to attain power in Italy. First point. Italy got nothing even though she was with the victors in the First World War. Post-destruction of industries, unemployment, increase in tax, inflation, etc. kept the people away from the government. Industrialists, in fear of Italy for moving to socialism, were prompted to support fascism. Benito Mussolini adopted several despotic measures in the political and economical fields in Italy. Let's see what are they. Autocratic rule. Violence and ferocity were strategies of fascist party. Leaders of peasants and workers and socialists were proclaimed as the enemies of the nation, and those who opposed fascist party were executed. An aim of this was to restore the ancient Roman Empire. As a part of this, Mussolini adopted several symbols of ancient Roman administration. He formed a military force known as Black Shirts, and using these black shirts, Mussolini suppressed his opponents through fascist policies. His aggressive foreign policy led him to conquer the nations like Ethiopia, Albania, etc. Italy's run for dictatorship led to the outbreak of another war. That's all. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Gauri. I am here with the recap of our second lesson about the topic Hitler's Nazism. Nazism is the German version of fascism. Hitler is the leader of the Nazist party. There are three factors which helped Hitler to come to power in Germany. Number 1, the Treaty of Versailles imposed by the victorious Allies on Germany after the First World War. Number 2, economic destruction and inflation. Number 3, the failure of German government and resultant political uncertainty. Adolf Hitler's oratory skills and organizational abilities helped him in gaining support, and thus he dismissed the German government and captured power. Socialists, communists, Democrats and Jews were executed. Hitler held Jews responsible for Germany's ruin and humiliation. He projected the purity of Aryan race and argued that the Aryans should rule the world. He thought that the Jews were inferior and he massacred them in the concentration camp known as Holocaust. He recruited a military force, brown shirts, and a secret police troop, Gestapo, to defeat them. All the political parties except the Nazist party and trade unions were banned. Military force were made compulsory. He incited a spirit of revenge among Germany against the terms of Treaty of Versailles, and he used newspapers, radio, cinema and education system to propagate the ideologies of Nazism. He attacked Austria and Czechoslovakia. Germany formed alliance with Italy and Japan, which was opposed by other countries. These circumstances led to the outbreak of another world war. Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah, Sri Lakshmi, Aditya, Adira and Gauri. You have done a wonderful job. Now let's continue the chapter. Let us look at the backdrop of Second World War, lasted from 1939 to 1945. We have discussed the Treaty of Versailles, which was imposed on Germany by the victorious Allies. Italy and Germany were the worst affected nations in the First World War. They lost their colonies and markets. In order to enhance their political and economic stability, they started to attack and invade other countries. In an effort to extend this policy of aggression, Italy and Germany, along with Japan, formed an alliance called Axis powers. In opposition to these allies, France, China and Britain formed the Allied powers. We know that after First World War, a peace organization, League of Nations, was formed. But the League of Nations failed to maintain the world peace, and League of Nations failed to prevent the attack of the Axis powers. When Germany, Italy and Japan attacked other nations, capitalist countries like Britain and France did not prevent the attack. That after Russian Revolution, USSR was formed. USSR was economically stable and powerful nation. നമ്മൾക്കറിയാം റഷ്യൻ റവല്യൂഷന് ശേഷം റഷ്യ USSR ആയി ഫോം ചെയ്തതും ഒരു സൂപ്പർ പവർ നേഷൻ ആയി മാറിയത്. As a result, Britain and France considered Soviet Union as their chief enemy. This policy, which encouraged fascist attack, is known as the policy of appeasement. ബ്രിട്ടനും ഫ്രാൻസും സോവിയറ്റ് യൂണിയനെ ആയിരുന്നു അവരുടെ മുഖ്യ ശത്രുവായി കണക്കാക്കിയിരുന്നത്. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ ഫാഷിസ്റ്റ് ആക്രമണങ്ങളെ അവർ എതിർത്തിരുന്നില്ല. ഫാഷിസ്റ്റ് ആക്രമണങ്ങൾക്ക് പ്രോത്സാഹനം നൽകിയ നയം അറിയപ്പെട്ടിരുന്നത് പ്രീണന നയം. At that time, on 1st September 1939, Germany attacked Poland. This prompted the Allied nations to declare war against Germany that ultimately resulted in the outbreak of Second World War. As it is the case with any war, even Second World War had significant impact and effect on people around the world. The entry of America and Soviet Union in the war changed the course of the war immediately. Italy and Germany could not withstand the attack of Allied powers and surrendered immediately. Mussolini was killed by the local revolutionaries and Hitler committed suicide. The only unsurrendered fascist ally was Japan. So the Allied powers planned to attack Japan. The Soviet army moved towards Japan through Trans-Siberia. But before it could reach Japan, United States of America dropped 2 atom bombs in Japan. The name of the atom bombs, Little Boy and Fat Man. America dropped Little Boy in Hiroshima on 6th August 1945 and Fat Man in Nagasaki on 9th August. After this incident, Japan surrendered. Then the war ended. Now let us discuss the far-reaching consequences of Second World War. Over 10 million people died. Economic system of European countries was destroyed. European dominance in world diminished. Freedom movements in Asia and Africa intensified. America and Soviet Union emerged as global powers. In a bid to preserve and maintain world peace, the United Nations organization was formed. UNO was formed. As we know that after First World War, a peace organization, League of Nations, was formed. But League of Nations failed to maintain the world peace. Then after Second World War, another important peace organization was formed. The United Nations organization was established on 24th October 1945. What is the significance of October 24th? Yes, October 24th is observed as United Nations Day, UN Day. The headquarters of the UN is in New York, United States of America. Let's see the objectives of UNO. To save the succeeding generation from the scourge of war. To protect international treaties and laws. To foster social and economic development of countries. Now move on to the next topic. Colonies become free. After Second World War, imperialist nations lost their economic dominance. As a result, the nations which were colonies intensified their freedom movements. The new global superpowers USA and USSR also supported the freedom struggles of Asian and African countries. As a result of all these events, colonies secured freedom from the imperialist control. This process in which the colonies become free from imperialist powers is known as decolonization. The leaders who fought for freedom for their countries are from India, Mahatma Gandhi, from South Africa, Nelson Mandela, and from Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah, and from Kenya, Jomo Kenyatta. It is in the leadership of these great men their countries got freedom from imperialist domination. Now let us discuss after Second World War what changes happened in the world. We know that USA and USSR were allies in Second World War. But after the war, they no longer stayed as allies. The primary reasons for this split was ideological differences. USA stood for capitalism and USSR stood for socialism. USA formed an alliance with capitalist countries and USSR formed alliance with socialist countries. These alliances came to be as capitalist bloc and socialist bloc respectively. Their ideological clashes led to the political and diplomatic confrontation which was called Cold War. It resulted in the formation of a bipolar world. So, let us quickly go through what we have discussed today. Second World War and its after effects, formation of UNO and its objectives, how did colonies get freedom from the imperialist domination, and Cold War. Hope you have got a clear picture of the topics we discussed today. Read the textbook and feel free to ask doubts if any. See you in the next class. Till then, bye.